All right, guys, this is Jared. I am at the sugar house today. So it's July, July 18th? Saturday, July 18th. So Lainey had a softball tournament today. We went down there for an 11 o'clock game, and they called the game and it got rained out. We left there. We went and got lunch with my father-in-law at Applebee's. We left there, got home about, 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that. So I've been at the sugar house. So I thought, well, probably should go bottle some syrup. We have, somebody actually ordered syrup that we don't have any Amber Rich quarts bottled. I haven't bottled syrup in quite a while, probably since April. So I decided it's going to rain on and off all day, at least get set up. So what we have here is I have my setup. So this is my Leader drum pump, works off the air compressor, works great. It's awesome. You get done, you pull it out, wash it out, and put it somewhere where it's going to dry, and it works great. Now the hose going to the Digiboil is dirty, but that's on the outside from dragging on the floor. So I use the drum pump, works great. And then I use these are Digiboils. So they are something I saw on, I think it was Maple Trader on Facebook or Maple Syrup Chat, one of the two. They work great. I bought them from the same place. I bought two of them. I actually wanted to get a third one. But they hold about 8.5 gallons if you fill them right to the top. You set the temperature, and you can walk away. It'll heat up the temperature, and then once it gets there, it maintains it within plus or minus 4 degrees, I think. And I've never had trouble with that at all. Now, when you turn them on, one of them has a memory and one of them doesn't. Turn them on, the one goes to 212, but the other one will be set for, I think I have it set for 190. Been using those for 4 or 5, probably 6 years, maybe more. They work great for me because I don't bottle. Right now, I don't bottle 40 gallons at a time. I mean, that's a lot for me. If I had a 40-gallon bottler, I would. But I mean, they're just, for what we do, they're ridiculously expensive for what we do, bottling. But I do get in this situation where I have the drum, and once I open the drum, it was sealed. It was, canned. And once I open up the drum, then I'm kind of in a situation now. It's summertime. I've got to get the drum empty, before it spoils, for what's left in it spoils or molds or whatever. So I probably bottle today, and I'll try to get the drum empty within a week. I think it's supposed to rain Wednesday maybe, so I'll probably bottle that day. And I'll get it down. I'll probably get it down to about 10 gallons or so, and I'll probably put that 10 gallons into buckets and take them up and put them in the refrigerator, and then use them to make cream. But you have to have room in your refrigerator too, right? So it's kind of a different day. I might do some other videos while I get things going, because it's going to take these a little while to get warmed up. And I might show you some of the other things that are going on in the sugar house. That are rainy day projects that I have to do. So we'll see if this works without trouble. So you got your airline hooked up, it has a regulator. I had a different regulator, and I don't know, for whatever reason it was too big or whatever. It didn't work, so I bought a different one, and I actually had this for a while and didn't use it because the other regulator didn't work how it was supposed to. The only thing I don't have is I don't have a shutoff valve. So you want the way that Leader has it mapped out on their thing, you want to have a shutoff valve. So I have run into the problem where if you get too much air in there, once it keeps coming, it's hard to stop. So you have to be careful about that, because it won't. You unhook the hose, and so shutoff valve is probably something I'm going to do maybe for next time. I'll see if I can get one to, I have a stainless one, probably just put it right on here. But it's too bad they didn't make a cam lock with a valve on it. Could do it right there. But Or if it would have a bleeder valve, that would be nice too. So you just hold down the triggers, just a nozzle for blowing things out, and it'll start pumping syrup, hopefully. I might have my air off a little bit. Got to put the air in, and there comes the syrup, just like that. So I just turned it up just a little bit. So then you'll watch, I can let go, and it's going to keep going. It's going to maintain the pressure. So that's where you have to turn your regulator down a little bit. And then when you get close to being full, you're going to want it to be off. You're going to want it to not maintain any pressure. But I think it's still going in. Yep. So I have a smaller, so I cut it off a little bit too quick. So it's a little bit of a balance for the air. I don't remember how I did it last time. But get some more air in there, and then I think it's supposed to be like, there you can hear it now. So it's supposed to be like 20, I think. And I just have it threaded in there with no thread tape. I'm not going to thread tape on it. And to me, it's worth having a little bit of an air leak as opposed to having a little piece of thread tape get in your barrel. I don't even know if they recommend thread tape or not. So I can hear it leaking just a little bit right there. It's bubbling. I just washed the top of the barrel, so it's bubbling some water right there. It's just on there hand tight. Now you could take I think one time I took a vice grip, put on there, and held that down. But once you get enough air in there, it'll just keep pumping for a while. So it's coming out. Probably can't see in the camera, but it's coming out almost full stream, and we're about half full. So the other problem that I have is moving it from one to the other. So what I'm going to try to do is just bring this one over and get it in there, and then move it back over before it gets too heavy. Of course, the cord's got to get in the way. And then I'll have to go around and let some air out. So now it's getting down to the stream in here is going down a little bit. So I can reach over and give it a little shot of air. Back up to full stream. So I'm just going to get it full. The pressure's a little noisy. Get it full. I'm going to tip this one over and just jump it across there. Then I'll have to just wash up a little bit. No big deal. If you don't get enough air in there, it won't work. If you get too much in there, it's hard to shut off. So you kind of got to, especially when you're filling the second one, you got to kind of decide what you want more. A little extra time filling, or you want to clean up a mess. We're up to 5 gallons. These have a gallon gauge on the inside. Digiboils are, before I forget, they're $150, $175. You can get them multiple places. I think the one place I got them was some Williams Brothers Brewing or something like that. And for whatever reason, they're like a year apart, I think. One of them has a memory. It remembers what I set it for last time, and the other one doesn't. But you get the temperature set, shows up in red. I'll show you that when we get the syrup all in here. Give a little bit more air. So they're real low cost. And the other thing about them is, I'll show you that too, but The nozzle, the fill nozzle, is actually up off the bottom a little bit, probably half an inch or so. And the heat sensor's right on the bottom. So the nice thing about that is you can't get it all out of here without tipping it. So what we do is we get it down that far, and we'll do like a pint or maybe a quart. Usually we do pints down when we get down to the bottom. We tip it, and then what I do is I'll fill, and when I see a bunch of frothy stuff come out, then I'm done. That's the very bottom stuff and very bottom syrup in there, and that's where all your niter is from reheating the syrup. And then we just rinse out the bottom. If we have to, we'll take a copper Scotch Brite pad and just shine up the bottom. That's what I do with my cream pots. My pots that I make cream and mustard and candy, all that with. I always shine up the bottom of them, inside and out. This I won't worry about doing the outside. And it works great to shine them up. And then the only thing you gotta do is when you rinse it, you just make sure that you get if your Scotch pad starts to come apart, you might get little pieces of copper in there. Just rinse them out. No big deal. So we're up to 6.5 gallons. Not sure if the pressure's what I want. Give it just a tad bit more pressure. Like I said, I think the one time I clamped the vice grips on there and held that, but it's coming out pretty good still. Nice amber rich syrup. We'll bottle it. So it'll take probably hour and a half or so to get up to temperature. I used to bottle at the house. Used to do all my bottling at the house, and you know, Rachel and I usually would fill them up like supper time or TV time and turn them on, and then when the kids went to bed, I'd go down and bottle syrup, you know, for an hour or two or whatever. But we started doing it down here last year. I think we started doing quite a bit of bottling down here. So have all the bottles are right there in the boxes, and I just washed the table, and you know, this is my sugar house. Everything's as clean as it can be. So I have a couple little projects that I might work on while I get this going. The boards right there, I don't know if you can see them in the camera, boards on the floor, those are for stairs that go outside to go up to my head tank. I've been wanting stairs there for ever since the sugar house was built. Well, ever since that tank was put up there. Tank wasn't put up there till what, 2018 or 2019. So I'd like to have steps up there. Been doing some electrical work here and there. You know, that's once I get the hay done or whatever. A rainy day, I'm going to come down here. I've got a few electrical things to do. So with the Digiboil, if I remember when I bring you around front to show you, I have 20, all my breakers in here are 20 amp breakers. We had a couple that were 15, and I took them out and changed them to 20. But for the Digiboils, for the two of them, I actually have them on separate breakers. And over here on this wall, I have white receptacles and black receptacles, and that means they're in a different circuit. So the actual receptacle itself is a different color. So that way, all you have to do is, hey, if they're right next to each other, they're a different circuit, and it's the only area where I have that. And then I have one over here that's the turn sideways plug or whatever they call it. That's a double pole, and that was for one of those heaters. I forget what that kind of heater's called, but I got who did all the wiring and it didn't work. The heater didn't work. So it quit filling. So we'll have to give it a little bit of shot of air. That's the biggest thing, is just to be patient when you get the second one almost full and not fill it too far, because it won't shut off as long as it's got air. build up in the barrel. And they actually hold more than 8. I fill them right to the top because you're not going to go high enough that's going to boil over. With the temperature setting 190 or 192, whatever, it won't boil over, and it won't burn the syrup. They're great for smaller producers. Like, I'm not necessarily a small producer, but we made 750 gallons of syrup this year on 2,000 some taps. If we counted right for the taps, we made 0.38 gallons of syrup per tap. So that's pretty good. That's the best year we've ever had by tap production. So that was a good year. But I like to do a lot of bottling during the season because I don't have time. It's not my full-time business, not my full-time job. I don't have, we have the farm. We have hay to make, cows and horses to take care of, wood to cut, other projects to do. Lainey, my oldest daughter, Lainey's playing softball all-star. She's been practicing that practice started back in June. So I think, 5 weeks now they've been practicing 2 or 3 nights a week for 5 weeks. They won their game last night 10-3. They were winning 10-1. They put in their backup pitcher, and pretty cold actually. I don't think she really warmed up that much, and she gave up 2 runs. So they're in a situation where they couldn't lose, as you have to. Last inning, you can only score 5 runs an inning. So it keeps you busy, and then you want to come down here and But my mom will bottle for me if I ask her to. I probably will ask her to do some. But I might be able to come down and bottle. So I just let it shut off. I'm about a 1/2 inch from the top. I'm going to let it stop on its own and just go ahead and move this while it's not running. So that'll work pretty good. Just the difference in height there, got some syrup. So we'll turn that one on. We'll show you what that looks like. So when you do it, holding it down, you're just putting air into the barrel, and you just you don't want to sit here and hold it till it gets 3/4 of the way full, because you won't be able to get the air out of the barrel unless the syrup comes out. So we'll just keep doing it like that. That worked pretty good. So we'll bring you over here and show you the Digiboils. So we'll get this one turned on. So you got the Digiboil right here, and it's all stainless steel. Flip the switch on, it's on, and then it's going to tell you what the actual temperature is. And then if you hit the plus sign, it will tell you what it's set for. So this one's actually set for 190, and it's on Fahrenheit. Now the other one, I think I will probably have to change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Usually I think this one's the one that does that. And it does have two burner switches, so when I get almost done bottling, I'll turn one off. So this one's got syrup in it, so we'll turn this one on. So it's on, and see that one says 22. And I think you got to hold down the buttons together. Can't remember how to do that. Let me set you down here for a second. I think you got to hold the buttons together. There, and it flipped to Fahrenheit, and it went right to 212. So then I got to go down to, let's go down to 190. And it does plus or minus, I think it's 4 degrees. So now it's locked in. It says it's 71. And we'll flip the other burner on that one. So that is the Digiboil. So then we're going to set up our bottles while it's heating up. And, so like I said, this is, see right here, the line right there, that's the bottom of the pot. So you have a gap in there between the nozzle and the bottom, and that's where that really helps you to not get any niter in there from overheating they're reheating the syrup or whatever you want to call it. But like them a lot. Digiboils, if you're looking to bottle, 8 gallons or less at a time for $150, $175, you can't go wrong. All stainless steel. Obviously the outsides are a little dirty because I just handled them, but the insides are what matters. The insides are clean. So might want to check them out if you're looking to do some bottling. For me, a water jacketed 40-gallon bottler with a automatic, forget that. That's not going to happen if it ever happens, it's not going to happen for a long time. I'd love to make a living off of syrup. I'd love to just be like, just make maple syrup for a living. I'd love that, but that's not the case. I'm actually, without having to go quite a bit farther of a distance, unless I could get my neighbors as a lease, I'm pretty much maxed out without having to go. Well, I have one group of trees I could get. I don't think there are maybe 200 taps that I could get. After that, I'd have to go to the other side of our farm, and it's a couple thousand feet over there. So I don't see the need for getting any. We just don't sell enough retail. We sell quite a bit. We're going to sell, I think I have 7 barrels. I try to make some cream and candy, which this year is the first year we made cream and candy, and since Rach passed away, I do like to make it and sell it, and I do have people that like it a lot and continue repeat customers, but it takes a lot of time. You got the kids and you got bedtimes and kids are playing sports and stuff like that. It takes a lot of time to make cream and candy. But anyway, that's what we're doing right now. We might show you back. We might come back into the video for another one or another part of it. Maybe one of the other projects. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. In case we don't, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more from Triple D Maple, Triple D Farms, and Triple D Cabins. I'm Jared, and have a great day.